Hey Patriots, welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoyed that intro. If you're new to this channel, I hope you stick around. Obviously, by the content, I'm not doing this for monetization, really. It's more of a hobby, a challenge, service to people that maybe don't have as much experience with firearms and shooting. So filming myself live fire really does help me with training as well. And speaking of that, I have something else for training, which is this little guy. Ever since I started owning firearms, I always wanted to have a way to dry fire, and that's why I have this guy. But before this, I also bought my first firearm as the Taurus G3. This is my EDC, and the reason why I bring this into shot is because this little guy is striker fired double action. And honestly, I think it's the only, I could be wrong, but I think it's the only striker fired handgun that has double action capability, or in other words, restrike capability. What that means, and yes, we're clear, is after I take my single action shot, I release the pin, it resets on its own and allows me to pull back the striker for another reset to shoot. It just shot. It just restriked on its own. Now it is a little heavier because it is double action. I'm pulling back more spring tension on that. It has more work to do, but it's not really bad. It's actually pretty light for me, to be honest. I don't know if you see my other videos, but I also own the SD9VE, and I learned a little bit off of that gun. So I got a heavy pull. It's like 9 pounds. So this little guy is a 9mm sized cartridge laser. That's all it is. It's a momentary rubber switch. So no, it won't damage your striker when it hits. You can actually see some of the indentation, and it still works even with that, from the use that I've put it through. I use it quite often, and I've contributed it to any of my success on live fire, on live range fire. And weapon manipulation. So there it goes, right in the tube, and you don't want to let it slam on there. You just kind of guide it over so you don't damage it over time, and boom, there it is. And end of video. No, I'm just kidding. I want to talk a little bit more about my setup here. I got a target with it from mytargetpro.com. The laser came with it, and the stand. So this stand's pretty cool, and it makes things a little bit easier. It has a tripod screw-on mount, so you can put this on a tripod. As you saw, it extends here. You put your phone here on this phone mount. You take the target, it comes in this package, and you slide it on to the rail there, and you open up the app, which looks like this. And yes, the app is free. I'm not certain. I might have bought this mode, the quick draw mode, which is my favorite. And when I'm playing with my family or spouse, I'll pull out the bullseye and we'll have some good fun with that, which is also another fair point. If you have a spouse or family members that are not too savvy around firearms and using them, and they're afraid of recoil maybe, this is a great way to get them acclimated to at least how the firearm feels in their hand, manipulating the slide, manipulating the manual safety if there is one, and manipulating the trigger, and making sure they're able to get on that trigger and get a good feel for it. And we're just going to remove this real quick with a pencil. You can use nylon as well, any kind of instrument like this. I'm sure you have like a bore snake, bore cleaner, or something like that. That'll work. So yeah, that's my G2, and it's a great gun for dry firing and a great gun overall. I also have the G3, as you saw in video. So Taurus G3 came out like around 2019, along with Taurus's TX22. Right now, they actually just announced their new Toro option, which is basically their optics ready version. It just comes out with a milled out slide area with adapter plate options for all kinds of red dots. But I haven't seen it available in any stores yet, so if you're really impatient, you might want to look for this guy. You can get him like around $300 right now. So I got a black tender for slide finish, which is nitrocarburized hard shell, anti-corrosion cover. It does also seem to have some kind of matte black finish on top of the tenifer. The trigger is about like 5 pounds. It's actually not too heavy. It's got a very crisp reset, so check that out. Ooh, nice and short, crisp. Very easy to take down. Boom, I didn't even have to use my fingernails. You know, it's got the safety, at least for those people that want to use it. I personally don't care about the safety. So my setup here is obviously the Romeo Zero from 6 Hour. What was really nice was having this laser available to fine tune the Zero on here before I took it out to the range. So the laser really got me on paper. And I'm using Lakeline's adapter mount. It's a very thin mount. Look at that. Super low profile. I've seen some of them tall boys, man, and they just look, they look gross aesthetically, to be honest. You know, this is as close as you're going to get to a milled slide, you know. And of course, Taurus released the Toro, so there is that. So if you're looking to get a G3 and you do want to go this route, definitely get the Toro. Just spend the extra $100 and get their slide option that has optic option. Or maybe the Toro is not available for you, or it's out of stock. You know, you can still go this route, and it'll work with the 6 Hour Romeo because it has these rear irons, and with the front irons, the taller ones that I got from Lakeline as well, it actually works pretty well. Look at that. It actually, there we go. I think I got it on film. Coping this is kind of nicely. So that's my setup. It works great. I sometimes call this the Brazilian Glock 19 because a lot of people like to compare it to the Glock for some reason. Honestly, I don't think it really is much of a comparison when you consider that the Glock really doesn't take much cost to manufacture. I don't know if you know, but Paul Barrett, he did a documentary or book or whatever on the Glock. And yeah, that was published back in 2012, and he found out that it's like $110 or $150. I'm trying to remember off memory. But yeah, it's not that expensive to make a Glock, so it makes you wonder, you know, where they're cutting the cost too. You know, you're just buying a name brand, I guess. I don't know. You know, I'm not hating on the Glock at all, but I just know that a lot of people compare it to this, and like, oh, I want to trust my life with this guy. I'm gonna end it here, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support us, fellow Patriot, go ahead, like, subscribe. Anyway, I'm out.